Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome.
Bastard.
Welcome to another edition of the Ohm Service Live. With me, Marky Mark, Steve BFG, and Betty Stevie. Good evening, chappies.
Hello.
We nearly never went live, do you know that? We were sat here talking, and I was just munching around, sorting me. I thought, all right, I need these batteries to put on charge. I'll just pop down, and while these two guys are talking, didn't realise what time it was.
We're a professional outfit.
Totally and utterly professional.
That was nearly an oops moment.
Yeah, I was just getting comfy, you know, when you I ain't even open. All right, I'm going to do it now. I'm opening my can of Coke. I haven't opened my can of Coke. Got to be ready for the show with a can of Coke, you see.
Have you not had your Coke?
I haven't had my Coke, no.
Nobody's touched my Coke for ages.
I know.
I've just had I've just had a nice shower as well. Been lovely.
Did you touch your Coke in the shower?
You've got Coke in the shower?
No, did you touch your Coke in the shower?
You'd be surprised what I touched.
Easy.
What?
Before the watershed, sir.
Well, there was lots of bubbles. Well, that's all I can say. Mods
Lots of
and
bubbles?
pods. I missed you too, buddy.
Lots of buggles. Is that what you said? Buggles?
Bubbles.
Bubbles.
I thought you said buggles. What the hell was the band doing in your shower? Radio kill the radio star.
Oh, I give up. Shall I say hello to those?
No, hold on first. You're looking damn sexy this evening, Mr. Hodgson.
You need to go to Specsavers, son.
I've not got the fuckers on, that's why I can see it. But I'd certainly do you. I'm rather moist here, and it's nothing to do with the heat and no Betty Swallocks.
There you go.
Would you, sir?
Would you, sir? Oh, would you? Would you do it, sir? Would you ram him like a train, sir? Oh.
We'll get on to that later.
It's going to be one of them nights, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just in case anybody's interested in what you can pick up in SoulOhm's bottom drawer,
The bottom drawer, yes. Ooh.
something a little sexy this evening. Not the little brother, the 200 watt Maxus from Freemax. Freemax even.
Freeman Max even.
Freemax even. So if you fancy getting your hands on that, stick with us.
Yeah, stick with us. What time are we going to do that? Roughly about 1:30?
Yeah, we'll do.
About 1:30.
We'll see how it goes. Right, so in chat we have 901. Some fat git called BFG. Mr. Richards, good evening, sir.
Mr. Richards, how dare
Pleasure
you?
to see you. Blazing Vape, Steve, how you doing? Bronco.
Bronco.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
sir.
evening. Chris Doyle.
Doily.
Awesome name. Coil. That's it. Just Coil.
Coil.
Awesome. Like that. Craig Campbell, good evening. Dion78, the ever gorgeous and angelic Gaily Pops is with us.
Ogles.
Ogles. Gav Evans, good evening, sir. Jay Jerry, thank you. You
Jay
gave
Jerry.
me such a chuckle with that album cover and the Facebook group. Jenny Sin.
Ogles. I can't let them go with my bottle.
Mrs. Porter, a pleasure to see you, Mom. And in case we don't manage to slip it in later on,
Easy, tiger.
nudge, wink, wink. Happy birthday for Saturday, darling.
Happy birthday, Ogles.
Joe Mason.
Don't
Yes.
start, it's too early.
No, it's not.
It's never too early.
Fucking too early.
Jules deserves celebrating 365 days a year.
Shut up.
Kentucky Bill, good evening. Liz Covell K. Snuggles.
Ogles.
Mark H, good evening.
Fist bump.
Master Biker Simon.
Simon, how you doing, buddy?
The bakery bandit is with us. Key mods and pods. Good
Mods
evening.
and pods and mods and pods.
Just don't let him look after your pies. That's all I'm saying. Right, Paul Anderson. Good evening,
Mr. Anderson, fist bump.
I'm not doing it this week.
Rachel and Form Ruby, and the rest of the crew. Buggles.
Happy fingers, happy fingers.
Always happy fingers. Why? Shane Gibson, good evening. Sheboygan.
Sheboygan, fist bump.
Some geezer
Hashtag
called
love
Solo.
those caps.
Stuart Ayrton, good evening. Timmy.
Timmy. Hey,
Oh,
have you
wonderful
seen
lad,
Timmy's
yes.
blooming photos he's doing with his new camera?
Have I?
Hey, they are some corking. I think you can come around here and teach me.
There we are. There's an offer. Tomac, good evening. UK Andy. Fist bump.
Fist bump for you, get Andy.
Vapor Bunny. Hello. Buggles. And the ever gorgeous and slightly saucy vaping pasty.
Pasty. Uggles. Uggles. Uggles for pasty.
Oh, yes.
Uggles. Come on. Uggles. Stevie. Uggles.
Boggles for everybody.
I'm sure I saw Toby in earlier as well, Net Reality.
Did you say hello to Big D?
Big D, sorry.
Big D,
dude, I
fist
missed
bump,
you and
matey.
all. That's the problem with the participant list. Unless you're in active chat, it doesn't show you. So I do apologise.
Zan's there as well somewhere.
I'm sure Zan's in there. Fist bump
Yeah.
to our little
Oh.
old Zan.
I've already said good evening to the legend that is Zan.
He knows the way.
Joseph Stylings made an appearance. Hello, dear comrade. Welcome
Hello.
to Tavares.
Stress VTA. Right.
Victoria.
Did we get our liquids? Have they turned up yet, Gov?
Are they the liquids that's got the vape and brews? Yes, them
Yes.
ones. Yes, we did. We wasn't sure who sent them because nobody left a note in there except for just vape and brews.
I was hoping for a G string, but
Well, one of Darren's G-strings.
yeah.
I'm sure he can arrange it.
Cheers, Darren.
See, I always thought, I'm being really mega ignorant here, I always thought vape and brew was Jay of Sabs. I don't know
What do you
why.
mean?
I don't know why I got that in my head. I'm so sorry.
Hold on, Bunny. Why, oh my God? Are they expensive G strings? I mean, I'll happily pay the postage, you know.
Somebody's got the horn on.
Who?
Somebody's
What?
not. I'll rephrase that. Somebody's not got the horn off.
Thank you.
You will.
It's Liz's comment. Now we know they need you sending. Oh, bless. Thank you. Nightbot has made an appearance.
Yes,
That's
Nightbot
scary.
is actually working.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Smith. More to the point, Steve, did you get a pair of knickers with that haircut? And he wasn't talking to me.
No. They all knew I got a haircut 2 weeks ago. Kevin wouldn't say anything like that to me, wouldn't you not, Kevin? Mr. BFG's actually let some of his hair grow back in.
I have.
Yeah?
He's come back. He's come off the spit and polish. He now needs to wash it.
Well,
And then he's here.
and Gailey's not a fan of G strings.
No.
Now, I've always wondered this. Why do they call them G strings? I always thought it was something to do with the G spot. But
I think that might be the correct answer, but I don't know.
anyway, speaking of things of a slightly saucy fashion,
Ooh,
I was wondering where the hell he was going with this.
I did as well. I'm thinking, hey, up.
Oh no!
later on we should be chatting.
Me hands hovering over stop stream, stop stream, stop stream.
I was merely going to mention the fact that we're going to be talking about our favourite comedians. And I'm sure one or two are of a salty nature, so...
Yeah, we are, aren't we? We were talking about it last week, and
Yeah.
we have got a lot in common who we like.
It's quite scary, actually.
Yeah, you two have.
Kevin Smith, yes, I've had surgery to remove my cap.
Yes, he's had a coil fitted
It's too
instead.
hot. What was that?
I said, yes, you've had a coil fitted instead.
What is it in here? I can't see. It's 23 degrees in this room at the moment. And I've got window open and everything.
Are you suffering from Betty Swallocks?
I am. Oh. Shoo, sir. Oh. Good evening, Dean. That is the Devil Vapor. Fist bump, matey.
Hey, how you doing, dude?
I was watching a couple of his reviews the other night, doing a bit of catch up and that lot. And I ain't half like his background. How he's got all his pictures and that lot. Looks really smart. Just thought I'd let you know,
awesome,
Dean. I really do like it. God, that went quiet there.
No, it's all right. Tomax comment just sort of took the wind out of my sails.
That's just going to ruin it completely.
I say,
Could have been us, could have been your sons.
Well,
I could deal with that. No problem on that.
Washing your son's G-string.
Far too much time, money, and effort. Bless.
oh, I don't know, Dean. I think it looks well smart. It really does. I love your artwork.
There we are. Paul was right. It's a gusset tour for us, the gooch strings, and now we know.
Skip Vapor, fist bump.
See, you learn something new on this show. Devil's nuts. Liz, calm yourself. Right, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start, or do you want to slip a bit of vapey stuff in? Because you did send me something interesting.
I did send you a little bit. Are we doing the news?
We can do the news. Just give me a second.
Well, I'll just do the bumper then.
You roll your bumper.
Ooh, sexy bumper.
I do like a nice bumper.
There you go. That's the news bumper.
Fabulous. Right. Well, I've just got to... This proves how set up I am. Not.
While Steve is talking about that, we are thinking about bringing a new section. What do you call it? Segment. That'll do. We're thinking about bringing a new segment of the myth busting on vaping. Just want to know what you guys thought about doing that, because obviously there's not much news going off here in the UK regarding vaping, but obviously we still want to keep things obviously slightly vape related. So we was thinking about doing a myth busters segment. So if you guys think it's a good idea, give us a thumbs up or +1 or whatever you want.
Liz, that's not how you spell section. Right. So, some of you may be saying, well, this isn't new news. And the tagline for this article is nicotine no more harmful to health than caffeine. No, it's not new news. However, the fact that the RSPH, the Royal Society for Protection of Public Health, are making this statement adds a whole lot of gravitas to it. So they're calling for a public confusion over nicotine to be addressed as a way of encouraging smokers to use safer forms of the substance. Tobacco contains nicotine along with many other chemicals, but nicotine by itself is fairly harmless. Alarmingly, RSPH research reveals that 90% of the public still regard nicotine itself as harmful. And the organisation is now calling for measures to promote safer forms of nicotine products to smokers, to promote them, and make it harder to use tobacco. Amongst the measures which are being called for in its report, Stop Smoking by Using Other Sources of Nicotine, includes, and these are some fairly radical ideas, introduction of a smoking exclusion zone around pubs, bars and schools, but that allow the use of e-cigarettes.
Yeah.
Greater utilisation of e-cigarettes by smoking cessation services. Only 3 out of the 134 stores selling tobacco also sold NRT products. Mandatory sale of nicotine replacement therapy in shops selling cigarettes, which is a matter that we've touched on previously in earlier shows.
Yeah.
Licensing of all purveyors of cigarettes so that local authorities can remove the license if any retailers are found not to be acting in accordance with tobacco legislation. Something else we've spoken about in earlier shows. And renaming e-cigarettes nicotine sticks or vaporizers to distance them from cigarettes. And that's something we talked about a couple of weeks ago. So I'm beginning to wonder if the RSPH are actually watching the show.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Hip Hop Juice, fist bump.
Hip Hop, how you doing, dude?
It's hot. That's why I'm not wearing that.
So they wind up by saying getting public onto nicotine rather than using tobacco would be a huge difference to the public health. Clearly, there are issues in terms of having smokers addicted to nicotine, but this would move us on from having a serious and costly public health issue from smoking-related disease to instead address the use of the issues of addiction to a substance which in or of itself is not dissimilar to caffeine addiction. Now, there was another study published either late last week or earlier this week, and there is now lab proof that giving up vaping is far less arduous than cigarettes.
Yeah, it is.
Their study shows that you can
Fist
go
bump,
cold
Kevin.
turkey. Aloha, dude.
I've got to. I just wanted to put something in. I mentioned this. Oh God, a couple of years ago, I think it was, and a lot of the healthcare people, especially Health England, now regret, and they've said it actually officially. They now regret that they demonised nicotine when they was trying to get people to stop smoking back in the early 80s. There was Nicorette this and nicotine this, and the nicotine was bad and all that. And they really do regret actually coming out with that now. Because because the whole world has now got this demonisation of nicotine.
Yeah,
And
I can attest to that, because when we bought this house, obviously changing the mortgage and all that over, and I had to go obviously get the life assurance and everything all changed over. That was one of the questions they asked me. When was the last time you used nicotine products, whether it be smoking or vape, vape related devices? I said, what's that got to do with it? That's part of the. I said, but what's nicotine got to do with it? You tell me before I answer the question, what's nicotine got to do with it? And she started a little bit edgy. She didn't know how to answer me. I said, because that's a mute question. It shouldn't even be there.
no.
I said, to be honest with you, I said, I don't use nicotine products anyway. Or I vape, but I don't vape nicotine.
A lot of insurances now. It used to be, do you smoke? Now it's, do you use nicotine products? Yeah.
Yeah, nicotine products, and it's not just. I mean, she was even on about patches and things like that as well. It was nicotine products under a big umbrella. It wasn't just cigarettes. But as I said, I did say, what's the hell's that got to do with it?
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
And finally, bit more on the health side. I cannot believe that the American Thoracic Society actually released these guidelines. But what they are saying is that rather than offering vaping, they should be offering Chantix alongside patches, gums and sprays.
Really? Shit.
Oh, yes.
Not good.
No, the side effects of this drug are horrific. Anybody that's even used it, or a derivative of, I used a derivative of, and it turned me into a monster. Luckily, I didn't get the suicidal or the depression, but oh my God, unbelievable.
Well, I mean, the side effects of anything from strange nightmares to literally suicidal thoughts.
Oh, Zan says, move your mic closer, Stevie. Yeah,
better.
Bonko. Whoa, shit. Don't, because I was looking at the article, not at you then, you bugger.
Oh, eh.
So, I mean, if you ever wanted evidence about Big Pharma
Oh God,
influencing stuff, you know, I think that's it. But, right, that is it for the news.
that is it for the news.
There's not a
That
lot
is
there,
it.
is there?
There isn't. It's very, very quiet. Very quiet. I mean, we was talking the other day when you popped into the shop about the Vexpo. I've had a quick look at it, and yeah,
Yeah, I
Wasn't-
think it was.
It's a great idea.
I think Vic summed it up pretty much. What we was expecting and what actually was delivered were two different things. We were expecting more like Second Life, where it
Yeah.
was more of a slideshow. But I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it just needs improving. What do you guys think?
I actually never known it. I was far too busy. But I've heard a lot of other people's comments about it. You know, it's obviously it's split into two camps. It was a good idea. It was a bad idea. Me personally, it may be a good idea for promotional wise for the companies and stuff. But I suppose at the end of the day, us as the end user, you want to have it in your hand, don't you? You want to pick up, you want to be able to feel it. You know, it's actually seeing it in a picture, which there's no really any difference than just going into a website on the computer and looking at it on there, you know?
Yeah, to be honest with you, that's how I was thinking.
The chat rooms needed some serious work as well.
By all accounts, there was a lot of spamming as well going off on them.
Well, that was always going to happen. I mean, along with trolling. Yeah, I'm very surprised we haven't had any reports about antis hijacking rooms yet. Very surprised. But, yeah, disappointing, but great idea.
I think the premise of it is a cracking idea, but I think the execution is a bit lacking, to say the least. Because let's face it, you can go on to most websites now, go on to the actual website, and you can actually talk to somebody in chat. And most of them have a chat room where there's somebody already live with that pop-up that comes up, can I help? So you've already got that. So I suppose unless you're sort of like going, if they're going to do like live seminars and things like that, then yeah, maybe a bit different. But
I mean, Dean's got a very valid point there. You know, the thing is, he says the thing is people need to stop trashing Voxpo and put forward constructive criticism.
Yeah, totally.
Voxpo. I completely agree with that. The first thing I'd say to him is, for God's sakes, do a mobile version.
Yeah, because I struggled with that, because I went on with my mobile first, and yeah, that was really hard work.
Yeah, but like I said, it's a great idea. They're trying to get the interaction of Expo going. Now, I agree completely with Stevie's point. As an end user, you want to pick it up. We can't.
I mean, this is a thing. It's been tried because of obviously the situation that the world's in at the moment. God forbid that we need to do the same thing next year. I mean, don't get me wrong, May Expo next year, I don't know whether that will take place personally. So it may be that Voxpo, they may pick up on things, the negative sides that people have said, and they may, you know, take it to the next step. So it may be a lot better for people. You can only learn, can't you? It's a learning curve. It's the first time it's been done, I think, isn't it? So
yeah, I mean, let's face it, to do what they've already done, and as basic as it is, it must have cost a fortune.
Oh God, yeah.
It must have cost an absolute fortune for that, just for people to say, oh, it's rubbish. Well, no, I don't think it's rubbish. I just think the expectations were
a lot higher.
A lot higher. We were expecting literally a Second Life, going in that kind of, and you actually went to booths instead of sort of like a just screens. It was a little bit. I think the expectation. I think they bigged it up a bit too much, probably.
But the problem is, PlayStation already did something very, very similar. Yeah. And that was a fully immersive experience. Now, all right, that was on the PlayStation 3, but it was streamed over the net. Yeah. It was a fairly big download, I must admit. But once that download was in, you could watch films as if you were in a cinema. You got adverts. You got live interaction with people, a la Second Life. So with the amount of bigging up that they did, I was expecting something similar, and it did fall short. But I think Dean makes a very valid point. Now's the time to sort of say, right, lads, this is what we would have liked to have seen.
Let's face it, it can only get better. The more that people play with it, the more people interact with it and explain what they're wanting, what they're not wanting. I think it could become something that's on there as a regular thing. You've got the opportunity to actually speak to the actual company owners and people that do that. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And then obviously you've got your individual forums as well, where you can go in. Obviously they're going to have to be careful with the spammers and things like that, and the trolls. That needs to be
addressed.
And once that, I think it could be a really good little meeting point.
Now, from my understanding, this is going to be running for a number of months. So, yeah, Daryl, I completely agree. Mobile apps do cost more money, but there is ways of programming, and WordPress have done it, that takes into account the fact you are on a mobile device. So it's possible to get coding that will react.
But it's like anything, isn't it? I mean, it's early days. It's not been done before, so you've got to give them a chance.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be running for a while anyway, so it's
well, as far as I'm aware of, it's going to be running, all year.
Yeah. That's what I thought. It was a few months. I didn't realise it was that long. So, bless.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, Dean. I mean, you don't want to be bombarded with spam. But it's also, you don't want to be bombarded with girls handing you leaflets when you go to Expo, and it's exactly the same, really.
Levi, it's dead simple, mate. Look for Mike Vapes. You find Mike Vapes, you found the bar.
This is a vodka and cranberry juice.
Right, it's 8 o'clock, kiddos. Are we doing our main topic time?
Main topic time!
Bumper!
Dear God, those dogs howling at that one.
I'm gonna let you kick this one off, kiddo.
Well, thank you. Right, as we spoke about last week, we got onto comedians, and that got us all thinking, because we've all grown up. The three of us have grown up sort of over similar decades, and I was really interested to sort of see what ticked our box when it came to the comedy, because I must admit my first sort of introduction to stand-up was Billy Connolly, Jasper Carrott.
Oh, Jasper Carrott, yeah.
Mike Harding.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my dad. We'd just be me and my dad in the car, and he'd whack on the big yin.
I'll never forget, Jasper Carrott, Funky Moped.
Oh, yes.
I remember going to Woolworths and buying that, and I didn't know about the Magic Roundabout on the B-side. And I thought, when I put that B-side on, I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Oh, it was just awesome. It was. Net Reality's just said, moles! Blow its bloody head off. I mean, what about you, Stevie? What was your first?
It's Connolly. it's what I was brought up with. He was a Glasgow boy, so my mother and father had quite a lot of the LPs, live recorded LPs from the concerts he did in Glasgow. That was the days before he swore.
Yeah,
So,
he did a lot more music back then, didn't he?
yeah.
Well, that's
yeah.
how he started out, wasn't it? He was a musician first,
Yeah, he was
and then
the-
in between the songs, he'd talk, and the gap between the songs and him talking just got bigger and bigger.
it was him and Jerry Rafferty, the Humble Bunch.
Now, I mean, some of Billy's, if you've not heard early Billy Connolly, there's stuff like The Police Cadet, As Usual, the Welly song. I mean, the Welly song's a classic. And the stories about Chuckers before it.
Connolly was a storyteller more than a stand-up comedian. It didn't throw jokes at you. It was
No.
stories that he picked up, and especially coming from Glasgow, working in the shipyards and that kind of thing. So he was just relaying things that had happened that he saw. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I liked about Connolly. It wasn't just firing shit joke after shit joke after shit joke. It was stories that you could relate to, and that's the kind of comedian that I like.
Do you know what I think I was thinking about when we was going to start talking about this one, and because of the age group that we are, I think we were very, very lucky. And the reason why I think we were very lucky, we was there when alternative comedy began.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because as being kids, I'm not so much Billy, but on television you would get your standard stand-up comedian that would tell, mother-in-law jokes and was kind of that kind of humour.
Yeah.
That was sort of like run-of-the-mill, easy-going, safe.
TV friendly.
Yeah, TV friendly. And then all of a sudden, there was not the 9 o'clock news, the young ones, Blackadder, and we was in the right age to appreciate all that with Spitting Image and all that things. And I was just thinking how, so like, now when you look at comedy, there is that much different genres. It's like music. There's that much now. It's unbelievable. But when we was so like watching as growing up, you was limited. You had your, like I said, your mother-in-law jokes, and then all of a sudden we started getting the alternatives.
Yeah, because I think you're right, and that's what you're saying, Mark. I mean, through the 70s when we were growing up, you had your Bob Monkhouse, your Les Dawson, all that kind of stuff, and it was the humour was tame. I mean, I don't know whether it's just me. I don't know if it's just the Scotsman in me, but a lot of English humour I just didn't get. I didn't find it funny. As I say, it's maybe just me, but there may be a lot of other people out there that didn't get it either. The humour it just didn't catch on. I mean, I can always remember the famous line. It was Mike and Bernie Winters, and it was Bernie Winters was on stage in Glasgow. Now I can't remember if it was the King's the Pavilion or one of the other theatres in Glasgow, and he was dying in his arse. And he told this story himself. He says, playing Glasgow, he says, it's the worst, it's the most horrific fucking venues you could ever play. He says, if they don't like you in Glasgow, he says, you're fucked. Excuse the language. So, he says, I was dying. He said, the next minute my brother walked out and somebody for the stall shouted, oh, for fuck's sake, there's two of them. And that just sums up Glaswegians that we just don't get English humour back then. But as you say, when it started, when the 80s started to kick off and that alternative comedy started to come in, I think we related to it a hell of a lot more. The working class guy related to it a hell of a lot more, I think, as well. But teenagers our age, well, obviously we were teenagers in the 80s, that's when we started to, you were clicking on programmes at 9 o'clock, you were waiting for that 9 o'clock
slot,
yeah, to the big camera up and hit that 12 and you're like, right, what's on? And you knew you were going to get a laugh. But I must admit that there was still some of them out there, this just ain't funny to me.
There's a lot of them now when you look back on it. I mean, the likes of Bernard Manning, even some of the the so-called sitcoms from the 70s, like Watch Your Language and all the rest of it. I'm not a snowflake.
Oh God, no.
I am not a snowflake, but by God, I cringe at some of the stuff that was. Ain't Half Hot Mum. I can't see why they ever had a big thing about that. You know, yeah, okay. There was the depiction of the Indians, but you compare it to Love Thy Neighbour or Mind Your Language, and Jesus Christ, it was tame, you know. And while we're here, the Saint of Sauce, the Lord of Lewdness, the God of the Gutter is with us. Sinner,
You know.
in the house.
Sinner.
Sorry.
Maui Ginger Ninja.
We Ginger Ninja.
Lexi. Poor Lexi. Not
Lexi not had a scone.
No, she's not doing too good.
Oh, bless.
So yeah.
Oh.
So growing up, what did you cling to? Was you sort of like a Faulty Towers person?
No, I was not the 9 o'clock news.
I was.
Pamela Stevenson just.
Well, her babushka.
Oh, don't. Don't. I still wake up in cold sweats on that. It was the hedgehog song for me.
I
awesome.
loved Smith and Jones. I thought they were brilliant, and obviously, what's his face? Brain won't work now.
Rowan Atkinson.
Hugh Laurie and
Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry. I love their humour as well.
Hale and Pace.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
See, Hale and Pace for me were what Stevie talked about with the working class guy. You know, there was no pretension. They didn't come across as having been met up at Cambridge Footlights and all the rest of it, like Monty Python and all the rest.
Yeah, you did have that division, didn't you? You had the sort of like the working class comedian, and then you had your more educated.
Yes.
Yes.
More highbrow comedy.
See, Mike Harding, that was always his appeal to me because he always came across as a working lad. Billy Connolly, the working lad. Yeah.
Yeah, Jasper Carrot was exactly the same.
Yeah. The Goodies, etc. It took me a long time to get into the Goodies.
I like the Goodies.
The Goodies was one of the only ones I must admit I liked during through that kind of era. I thought it was hilarious. Ecky Thump and the
Ecky Thump was awesome.
Well, let's face it, they were more a children's version of Monty Python.
Yeah, see, Monty Python I didn't get. I just couldn't get it. I've watched the movies. I've tried to watch the television show over the years, and I can't. I just don't find it funny.
As much as I like Spike Milligan, when he did Q, I struggled with that.
Yeah.
Because that was so like, okay, am I supposed to laugh now? Some of them, but then again, he would do a sketch, and I'd be in absolute fits of laughter. But it would be so like you was continuously waiting for that little gem.
Yeah.
With him.
I think that was the same kind of thing. Like Dave Allen as well.
Oh, he's brill.
But you were still you would sit through half an hour of Dave Allen, an Irish guy sitting drinking whiskey with a finger cut off, smoking a cigar or fag or whatever it was, and you were waiting on that just one line, and that was you cracked up for the rest of the show.
Oh God, yeah. But Dick Emery, you got that girl, that female character who played. Oh, you are awful.
Oh, you are awful.
And I never worked. There was part of my head saying, "Hold on, this is a bloke dressed as a woman." And then when he pushed them and they went flying, and I'm thinking, is this one of them blokes that likes dressing up as women out in public? Or was it meant to be a proper woman?
He likes doing lady things and shit.
And the skinhead character, Dad, I think I messed up again, Dad.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But Selwyn Froggy.
Oh, Selwyn Froggy, I used to like that one as well.
I loved that. Mainly because I just have some great memories of me and my granddad just sat there watching it. Yeah.
But I think
I
growing up in the 80s, I just think comedy was a lot better. I don't know whether it's because I was more influenced at that time or what, but we had some corkers. I mean, even sort of like American humour. Now, a lot of American humour I don't get, but you had Pryor's, Eddie Murphy, and some of them were corking.
But some of the Eddie Murphy stuff again, you know, the
last-
bit about the ice cream.
Oh, Delirious.
Yeah,
That whole concept, Delirious, was absolutely brilliant. But then you watch Raw, and Raw was just, it was just miles apart.
Mm.
Oh, we've got to include Harry Enfield, definitely.
Loads.
Oi,
Loads of money.
I'm having a fag.
Hello, everybody, bloody peeps. It's Stavros here, isn't it?
That was brilliant. Oh, dimples. Comedy is sanitised now, Gav. I mean, I think that was the thing about the 80s. There was no political correctness. We'd come out of the more racial-based humour of the 70s, and people were sick of it. And then the 9 o'clock news started, and they started taking the piss out of the establishment.
Yeah.
And about serious stuff like the racism in the Met. Do you remember that sketch with the constable getting a rollicking off? It was Griff Rhys-Jones getting a rollicking off Rowan Atkinson. I have a complaint from Mr. Tarby. Apparently you have arrested him 15 times this morning. What was it? Staring at the pavement in a threatening manner. Falling suspiciously down the stairs. And it just had me in stitches.
Still my favourite sketch of that one is Gerald, the monkey.
Oh God.
Playing Johnny Mathis at 2 o'clock in the morning. And the best line was it, when we took you out of the jungle, you was wild. He goes, wild? I was absolutely livid.
Now, Kev Smith just mentioned Chick Murray. He had a big influence on Billy Connolly.
Very big.
But, I mean, that was the later Billy. That wasn't the early Billy with the music and all the rest of it. But there was a really good documentary about Billy Connolly. And like he said, when he started out, he was doing it for the patter. He wanted to be a patter merchant like they had in the shipyards. Yeah. Which, I mean, that's why the Scottish sense of humour is brilliant, because you get that patter. You get that story.
God, yeah.
I mean, Frankie Boyle, all right, some of his subject matter's a bit saucy.
No, I do not like that bloke.
Picking on him either, to be honest.
I'm not keen on what his jokes are about, but the way he delivers it, the timing is just brilliant. I can just imagine him being the guy in the pub in the corner.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer Kevin, out of the newer comedians, I prefer Kevin Bridges over Frankie Boyle, Scottish comedian wise.
It's Kevin Bridges' thing about Sky, the Freeview. You know, you and your dad have been watching Match of the Day, and you've got the telly upstairs tuned into the Sky box downstairs. Like, I'm away to bed, Father.
For the 15-minute preview.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Another one we've got to mention is the Fast Show. I loved the Fast Show.
You know which one was better? The Mary Whitehouse Experience.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I remember listening to that on radio.
See that puddle?
That's your swimming pool. That is.
I never watched them. I just couldn't. I just didn't find them funny at all.
Yeah.
Didn't find them funny at all.
It was Jarvis that dragged me in. Rob Newman's Jarvis. Bill knows. I love that character. In fact, my first wife got tickets for us to see the Mary Whitehouse Experience live at Middlesbrough. What a show.
Oh, their live shows were really good.
I thought I'd ruptured something. I've never laughed so hard. It was terrible. BFG remembers the invention of the radio. That's not true.
Today, I've been mostly eating turnips. Talking of turnips, we must obviously mention Blackadder. Did you like Blackadder?
No.
The first series left me cold. Blackadder 2 was when
Oh
it
yeah,
kicked
that's
off.
when it really kicked off.
I'm going to be perfectly honest here. There was only really one kind of comedy show that I loved,
JP,
and
this one.
I still love it to this day. And I'm sure you guys will agree. Red Dwarf.
Oh God, yes.
It's the only show I could relate to for some. I don't know why, but I could relate to it.
They're doing the documentary tonight at 9:00.
Are they?
Yeah, I know.
Who
we're gonna
was
miss it.
who was your character though? Who did you sort of lean more towards?
Crichton.
Crichton.
Crichton was ace. I used to like Holly.
Right, dude.
Oh, dude.
They're dead, Dave.
They're dead.
They're all dead.
What,
Dave,
which one?
they're dead.
What about if we're talking about Scottish humour? What about the two old guys? Still game?
The first few series when Ford and Greg, they first did Chewing the Fat, which was the comedy series that started, and obviously Still Game kicked off from that, and where that continued more. There was so many seasons of that. I watched it religiously up till maybe about the 4th or 5th season, and then after that, it kind of lost it, and then they had a big fallout, and they went their separate ways for a good few years, and came back, and it just wasn't the same.
Oh, the reboot of it was not the same now.
Yeah,
I've got to
it just
admit.
wasn't the same, but it was. I used to always see the two and walking into the bar, and Bobby standing behind the bar. Oh, here comes Fran and Anna. Shut it. 2 pints, Dick. It's no Dick, it's Bobby.
I mean, Mark H has just mentioned Rabsy Nesbitt. Now, what was the series that came from? Because that Hamlet,
Was it Kick Up the 80s? Something like that. Was it Kick Up the 80s?
something like that. I'd never sort of, other than Billy, I'd never sort of experienced much Scottish comedy, and that opened my eye. I had a giggle at that, especially the baldy bloke with the comb over. I thought he was.
Oh, God, can you remember when he did the Hamlet advert?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Blooming heck, though, that's going back some years. Obviously, can't advertise advert like that. I never got Rabsy Nesbitt.
See, to be honest with you, I could take or leave it. To be honest with Gregor Fisher, with Rabsy Nesbitt, I just.
See, I enjoyed it. I just like the underdog. Yeah.
The Glaswegian philosopher. I'll tell you this, boy. Sorry, I made it all. You James on your lab. I don't know. I just it was take it or leave it for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's just like everything. I mean, not everybody out there likes everything, so it's. Yeah, I find it. I really do find it difficult to find like a comedy or even a comedian that I could actually sit down and watch.
It's like the more modern comedians, like I'm trying to think. Mum Wants a Bungalow.
Huh?
Mum Wants a Bungalow tour. What's his name? Peter Kay. Now, I found him funny when he first started out, and then after that, I think he just kept on doing the same thing over and over again. It's same with Lee Evans.
Don't get me wrong, Lee Evans I find funny, but I think it's because of his antics.
Oh God, yeah.
Because
And
the
it's
guy
like, and it's like what I said to you. If they ever wanted to do the life story of, I forgot his my brain won't work, Norman Wisdom. When he first came out, they should have done that. I think if doing the life and story of Norman Wisdom, they should have used him when he just first came on the scene, because he was very Norman Wisdomy.
I mean, yeah, he is. But I mean, there's a hell of a history of the Normal Wisdom School of Comedy. I mean, look at Rick Mayall and Aid Edmondson.
Oh God, yeah.
When they were the Dangerous Brothers. Bottom, Hooligans Island is probably one of the best examples of slapstick that you're ever going to see.
Oh yeah, of course.
And Shane, there's been quite a few mentioning Mrs. Brown's Boys.
I'm like that with that.
That got toned down for me for TV. When it was radio, it was brilliant. Yeah.
It was just the first.
I just think Vic could do a really good Mrs. Brown.
Suggest it to him.
Yeah, but I think he could. I think he could pull a Mrs. Brown off. I don't know why.
Pardon?
Really? I think Pug might have something to say on that.
Joe's and I went to see the musical not that long ago in Glasgow, and it was shocking. The Mrs. Brown's Boys in musical. It was dire. It really was. There was a lot of people complaining about it on the way out. It was.
Well,
I think they've lost their touch. Or he's lost his touch. To be honest with you, I mean, I read the books years ago, and the books are bloody hilarious. But the first couple of series, they were good. But it kind of lost it after a wee while.
Now, talking about Mrs. Doubtfire, that man is my hero.
Robin Williams.
He is my absolute hero of comedy. He really is. I love that bloke to pieces. I fell in love with that bloke, Mork and Mindy, all the way through to his passing. I love that bloke. That's one comedy hero I wished I could have met.
To be honest, though, I mean, he said it himself. A lot of the energy and the drive for his earlier stuff came from the drugs.
Oh, yeah.
He was literally off his tits, rabbiting on stage.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the film footage that you see is him ad-libbing. There's more ad-lib done in his films than anything else.
Oh, God, yeah. But if you look at his later stuff, like Weapons of Mass Destruction, that has got to be some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. Especially the bit, he's in Washington, D.C. He's like, oh, so you're his secretary? Yeah. Are you sleeping with him? And the whole place just erupts. Yeah, because everybody, I was thinking it, but I didn't have the balls to say it. Yeah. But then he goes on about his heart disease, his recent heart replacement, and now he'd had an equine, and they'd given him the choice of an equine valve, and he just didn't like the idea of having to leave the house with a midget on his back. It was just brilliant. But have you seen the bit on YouTube? Sorry, he's doing a live show to Iraqi soldiers. And the last post plays, and all of a sudden the whole audience just gets up and puts their back to him, and it was brilliant. Robin Williams, he just went, was that last post? And I'm like, yeah. Thank Christ for that. It's the first time I've ever had the whole audience just go, fuck off. And then he's like, I was trying to look over your shoulder to see what was coming. Yeah.
I mean, he was a pure genius, that bloke. Loved him to pieces. I don't think I've seen him in a bad thing at all.
Oh, God, no. Be it serious, be it drama, be it funny. I mean, everything he did, the Birdcage.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the world's biggest fan of LGBT cinema. But that had me in hysterics. That really did. Yeah. But there's other people as well as Robin Williams. I put Dave Allen up there in the legendary status, just because of the way he dealt with topics. And he was a groundbreaker. Oh yeah. You look at it now, some of the stuff he was coming out with tame, but he was challenging the state, he was challenging religion. I mean, what did you think about Comic Strip Presents, Stevie? Was that another one that just left you cold?
Stone cold. I don't, as I say, getting back to it, I don't know whether it's just the English side of the humour. I just didn't get it. I just didn't get it. I really didn't.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean,
But
saying
they-
that a lot American humour, I don't get.
And yet
I mean, but don't get me wrong, man, I can remember still going to school and you know, and my friends and that brought, oh, did you watch this last night? I watched it about 5 minutes and thought it was shit. Oh no, you had to watch it, but it's everybody's different, aren't they?
Our school, I mean, Christ, if I could retain that memory I had from every line of Red Dwarf or Blackadder.
Oh, you had to. That was a policy in school and Spitting Image.
Oh, but it's when young ones came on. That was a totally different kettle of fish.
Oh God,
I just related to that. I just thought that was great.
is that right, Bambi? Did you do a video nasty?
We're going to have a video. We
Hello.
plant the seeds, nature grows the seeds, and we eat the seeds.
Oh,
It was the one where Neil they couldn't stop sneezing. They put them inside the bag.
stop it! I still love the one where the flood happened, and at the end you've got SPG just swimming away.
Was it Neil? Was it Neil that was sitting at the table trying to hammer the nail through the plates and nail them with his legs? See, that makes me laugh. I don't know why, but I mean, I know there was other comedy programs out there, maybe not at this 100% of the same vein, but it tried the same kind of comedy routines, and I don't know, I just didn't get it. I think the young ones was just raw. It was so raw.
Yeah, it was. It was totally different from everything that was on.
Yeah.
It totally different.
Well, let's be right. There was not a big budget, and that was obvious. But I mean, it also mixed the music in.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, what other comedy program had Motorhead halfway through doing the Ace of Spades?
Yeah. And they
Yeah,
had The Damned.
Yeah, Madness. What was it? Do you know? Excuse me. Do you know Living Doll? You will me, and I'll smash your face in. It was just brilliant. Gimme. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
yeah.
I enjoyed that.
I'll give you that. It was good. Yeah, Kathy Burke she was excellent.
She's such a good actress, though, Kathy Burke.
Oh,
Very,
God,
very
yeah.
underrated. So
Good.
it's past, kidder.
Right. If you wish to win this, the Maxus 200 watt from Freemax in a rather saucy buy pattern. Yes, it is. All you have to do to win this is to type a phrase.
What would that phrase be?
I think Vivian would be a good one. I-A-N. Vivian.
Are you sure?
Well, that's how I'm bloody spelling it, and so are they.
Right,
if they wanna
this
win
is
it.
how you're spelling it. Vivian. If you'd like to win the free match mesh, no, it's the free Max Maxus 200 watt. It's brand spanking new. It's the one that's got the reverse polarity of the neutron flow for the batteries.
There we are. This is how gorgeous it is on the back.
I must admit that's the best description I've heard yet of that mod regarding the colour.
Yeah.
Everybody else takes out the box and goes,
It's brilliant. People want to win it. Betty.
You get a lovely.
See, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the hell it looks like as long as it works and keeps you off there. So,
And Sinner, it comes with a lovely black box as well. Yes, it does. It's gorgeous.
And while we're waiting for that to roll, you can catch me and Stevie on the show after this one. Well, you know the one that we normally fluff up? Yeah, well, we're on it.
So We're floofing ourselves.
We're floofing
We
ourselves,
are.
yes. Literally.
And I'll tell you what, it's as much of a surprise for me as it was for you. A Sharpie will be out. You can't Sharpie over those hideous panels.
Get back to the comedy things. What was your take on the Carry On movies?
I loved them. But I had a real soft spot for Benny Hill.
No. I still couldn't. That Benny Hill still didn't do it for me. Even with the scantily clad women running around, I just didn't. Nah.
I liked the early carry-ons, and I liked the ones that weren't part of the carry-on, but they were in that same genre, the black and white ones.
Yeah.
I liked them, but I towards the end of the carry-on saga, it was just pure smut.
Yeah.
That was it. It was just boob and willy jokes all the way through.
I very much prefer. I wish I'd discovered Round the Horn earlier, because that's sort of very clever innuendo humour. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to roll it.
Oh.
And the winner is Craig Campbell.
Craig Campbell, congratulations.
I forgot to put the sticker up, didn't I? Best put that back up there.
I never knew that. Carry On ruined Kenneth Williams' career.
Yeah, it did.
Into a contract. I never knew that.
Yeah. What I really did like, they did a documentary about quite a few of them. They did Morecambe and Wise, they did Hattie Jake, and they obviously did Kenneth Williams. The Kenneth Williams one, oh, bless his little heart. That poor lad. Heart went out to him.
They showed you quite a lot. Was it whose movie? There was a movie came out. What was it? One of the movie about Sid James or something like that? That they did a movie on him, and quite a lot of it came out then. With quite a lot of the stuff that went on.
Yeah, the BBC. It was about an hour and a half.
I think so. I can't remember. I can remember quite a lot because obviously Barbara Windsor and that was in it, and it was the relationship between her and Sid James, and
there was it was his diaries.
Is that what I can remember. I can remember watching it. And when you see behind the scenes of what went on, you're like, bloody hell! A lot of them just.
But if you look at it, I mean, Hawtrey, he was gay. Kenneth Williams was gay, although he never sort of really came to terms with it. Frankie Howard.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, he was quite the predator. And I never realised that. There's got to be at least one every show. It's a fix. It's not. Craig, slap key, please.
What's a fix?
Every time there's a competition, somebody normally puts fix. So Key did it for us. Bless him. I mean, yes, I like blue humour. Yeah. But, I mean, I loved Ivor Biggin, but only in small doses. I like Kevin Wilson, but in small doses. Stuff like Kenneth Williams and Round the Horn, especially the Sandy characters, when the Goons. I never realised how much sexual stuff there was in the Goons, but there's a hell of a lot.
I don't think you noticed it though, did you?
No, you didn't.
But I think the two Ronnies were the same though, weren't they? I mean, there was a lot of sexual innuendo thrown into their comedy routines.
Oh yeah, especially the two Ronnies, yeah.
Oh, big time.
Especially normally the number right at the end.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Liz. Didn't think of that. Glad I didn't win. Imagine giving BFG your address, the horny kid. Thank you, Liz.
Yeah, but,
Oh, I used to love Steptoe and Son.
yeah.
Harold! When he was trying to outlaw them dentures.
You dirty old man.
After himself in the sink with the struggle.
Can you remember the time where they split the room? The whole house.
Yeah. Oh,
I tell you
don't.
a comedy like that I didn't get, Rising Damp. I did
No,
not get that as a kid.
and yet the rise and fall of Reginald Perrin, I thought was brilliant.
Didn't get that either.
No, I didn't get that either. Now, that's an interesting one. Gail's put one up, The Trotters. I loved the early Only Fools and Horses, but after a while, I just got mega bored with it.
Did you find a lot of the kind of comedy show they started to become very, very repetitive?
Very.
Yeah. I think Only Fools and Horses only managed to break that when they started doing the specials.
Yes. Oh, the Batman and the Robin scene,
Yeah.
that's got to down the Annals of History. I mean, that's comedy gold. And also, I mean, the famous part in the show where Del Boy goes through the fucking bar.
Oh, his yuppie bit, yeah.
Yeah.
See, for me, I loved the bit where they won the holiday, but Rodney had to be down as 14, and he won the colouring competition. I thought that was awesome. Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, they were the original.
Oh, yeah.
When it came to alternative humour, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore were it. I mean, the Clive and what's it called?
Gosh, I tipped my tongue now.
The racehorse off that album.
What did he say? He said you. What did you say?
Another one that I used to like, I didn't watch it, obviously, when it originally aired. I only watched reruns, and that's the week that was.
Yeah.
That was really good. That's where you get the original Yorkshireman sketch.
Yep, with Marty Feldman. And,
That's it, yeah.
the Monty Python
Tim
crew.
Brooke Taylor. What else were
Derek and Clive, that was it.
Irish, I'd love to see Vic as Batman, to be honest, with Flat Cap as Robin.
Oh, yes.
Yes, definitely.
But Derek and Clive, I mean, Christ almighty, that was passing hands for like 40 Regal at school. If you had a copy of that, you were minted. Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard a lot of that till I was in my late teens. Eric and Clive, and I thought, why the hell did I not hear this years ago? Obviously, it was one of those kind of some of it was taboo, I suppose, at the time, because it was so near the knuckle. Some of the stuff some of the sketches and that they did, it was like, oh, you can't have that in the house.
Pud's Catwoman with nipples like that. You're not kidding, right? Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Ivor Biggin, that was another sort of taboo one. You know, the Winkers song and all the rest of it. It was just outright filth, but it was funny. It was funny. You know, Kevin Wilson. The first time I heard Santa Claus, where's my bike? I nearly wet myself laughing. Yeah.
Aiden can be poison ivy.
I must have heard that. The first time I heard that song must have been about 1985, 1986. Kevin Bloody Wilson. And I think some of his stuff's great, but there's other songs that are like, nah, just...
Oh, yeah.
His daughter, right? It's Paul Anderson's, his daughter, Genitalia. Apparently she's worse. She can be worse than he is.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I've listened to a couple of bits of her stuff. She covers a lot of her dad's stuff, though.
Yeah. But a lot of, I mean, obviously, he's Australian born and bred, and a lot of the songs that he wrote were obviously being Nigel, a legend.
That was brilliant. I love that. Especially the story that goes with it. Him and Nigel's a roadie for the band, and Kev's in the band. And the wives come out to meet him when they've been out on tour for a long time. And they decide to have a competition. Yeah, and the song goes through the story. And eventually Nigel kicks open the door, coming through. His todgers still inflamed. There's sweat and muck everywhere. And Kev's written 1, 2, 3 in Roman numerals over the bed. And Nigel goes up and shakes his hand. He goes, "Congratulations, mate. You beat me by 1." 111. Father Ted.
Father Ted, yes, another good blooming show. I love my brick. Brick.
My favourite episode was where they did the parody of Speed.
Yeah,
Oh God, yeah.
And he's delivering the pints of milk to all these naked women, and then he's driving along, and he's like, "She was in the niff."
Go on.
Here's a cup of tea, Father.
Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on.
So it was Father Jack.
Right.
When they tried to sober him up. What's that? That's curtains. And then he points, he gets to, what's that floor? What's that ceiling? And he points at Ted. Gob shite. It was the one the flood was, the water's coming through the ceiling. How poignant is that? And the water's going into Jack's whiskey glass. And he wakes up and Ted shouts, "Jack, don't drink that. It's fucking water."
See, this for me. I mean, I know Red Dwarf has maybe come back on Dave. It's good, but it's not the original.
No,
it never. I don't think it ever will be.
I like the way they brought Lister's age into it more now. I'm still not convinced that him and Chris Barry have really buried the hatchet because they haven't got that same chemistry on set.
Also, I mean, there was a big fallout with the writers as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, Naylor Grant became Naylor. So, obviously, Grant.
Yeah, one of the.
I
know they had a big.
Them.
But I think they've done well. The last season, when Chansky came back and it was it wanted her at altered images, that's when I fell out of love with Red Dwarf.
Because it wasn't Claire Grogan.
Exactly. Well, for starters, it wasn't Claire Grogan. Just straight away. I mean, doing that.
I love Infinity Welcome's Careful Drivers, the book. I mean, Better Than Life, the book was awesome.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to say something controversial now. I actually found the second Kachansky sexier. Well, that's created dead air. Thank you.
I'll give you that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thought of watching Claire Grogan Smalls running around in the washing machine for entertainment just wouldn't have washed. Sorry.
I think though they tried to go a bit more budget, didn't they? The charm of Red Dwarf was the wobbly sets. It
was the old Doctor Who sets, wasn't it? Really think about it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now we've touched on American humour. I mean, I love the likes of Foxworthy, Ron White, Larry the Cable Guy, and Bill Engvall.
The Blue Collar Tour.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
You're done.
Well, Bill Engvall's stuff, even though he's talking American, I could relate to this. I was of an age back then when suppositories do become terrifying. You know, the thought of the doctor shoving the middle digit up where the sun don't shine. No, not happening, you know. Bill Hicks is another one. Now, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He normally does his set without a shirt on. And he does this wonderful story about they did a school trip to Russia and he ended up joining the Russian mafia by accident. He's an absolutely brilliant guy. I'm trying to think what his damn name is. Oh, apparently it's 10-2.
It is. We're going to start wrapping this one up, guys.
I think we're going to have to. I could carry on with this more. I really could.
Again, it's another subject that could go on and on and on and on. But it's the good thing is about it with these subjects that we have been broaching recently. We can revisit them later on.
Oh gosh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's one of these things that it's going to progress all the time.
Well, to be honest, guys, I mean, what I'd like to see is chat. I know they've done.
Yeah, I know you'd like to see some people in chat. I know you would. You dirty little boy.
I think the police might get called, but hell, yes, that did go quick, Dion. I can't believe how quick that went.
It did go really quick.
So, Stevie, do you want to?
Yes, I will. Thank you again, guys, for joining us. You guys in chat for yet again another hour and a bit that's flown in.
It has.
And also to my two co-hosts, thanks again, boys. Love you lots. And let's do it all again soon.
Oh God, yes.
BFG.
Chat.
You sexy bastard.
Oh, Mr. Connery. You can polish my Walter any day of the week. Chat, thank you. Honest to God, you have been brilliant tonight. And we didn't even mention Phil Cole. I'm disappointed we didn't mention Phil Cole, but never mind. Chat, you've been awesome as always. And thank you for the pause when I said the second Kachansky was sexier. Guys, Stevie, after the week you've had, mate, I'm amazed you're here. So thank you. Mark, you wonderful sexy beast. I'll see you in 5.
You certainly will. Is that my time?
It is.
Betty, BFG, thank you. I love my little Thursdays. It's awesome. You really guys cheer me up. And I've just right enjoyed it. It's gone so blooming quick. I can't believe it. It really has gone mega quick.
You're not kidding.
I mean, we've sat talking prior to us going live, and it was like, oh, we're supposed to be going live now. Guys in chat, thank you as always. If you've enjoyed the show, please give it a thumbs up. Them thumbs up really do count. So give us a thumbs up. Show your appreciation. Also, don't forget, next week, we do have Super Chat enabled. Just thought I'd mention it. Just thought I'd mention it. You never know. There you go. Guys, thanks ever so much. On a serious note, thank you so much for watching. And the people on the replay, thank you as well. It's been awesome. We're going to shoot off now. I need to go to the little boys' room and powder my nose and all that good stuff because we're on Vic's show in 10 minutes' time. So, we'll catch you all, same time, same channel, next Thursday. So, from the guys and myself, bye! Bye!
Bye!
Blue waffle syrup.
You're done.
Anyone for a scone?
I say.
I've got scones.
Information.
I haven't. Now you're just showing off.